The Eight of Wands, Hod. The Sephir of Hod represents glory, honor, and authority. Moses put some of his Hod on Joshua in Numbers 27:20 and passed his authority on to him. Hod also represents the majesty that God gave to King Solomon in 1 Chronicles 29:25. Hod is the first Sephirot on the pillar of severity. It represents being made perfect and obtaining glory through suffering. Those who share in Christ's sufferings will also share his glory. The Shekinah is the indwelling glory of God. Whoever loves and holds fast to wisdom will obtain glory. See, Solomon's relationship with wisdom, who was a gift from God, led to him being endowed with majesty and authority. The Sephir of Hod represents a son of the doctrine beginning the great work, immediately following the chemical wedding. It was on the seventh day of the chemical wedding of Christian Rosencreutz that Christian Rosencreutz vowed to follow the code of the Knights of the Golden Stone, and he resigned himself to doing the will of the king, at which point he was already victorious based on his intent. The eighth day would mark the beginning of Christian Rosencreutz's actual chemical wedding, or the start of his trials and baptism of the Spirit and fire. But those events were not contained in the story. The wheel with 8 spokes is the symbol of spirit, and the emblem is found throughout the Rider-Waite deck. 8 pointed stars are also a reference to the spirit of wisdom. The number 8 turned on its side becomes the symbol of eternity. Wisdom will exist for all of eternity, as will those she aids through the chemical wedding. The Hebrew letter Shet, with a value of 8, is associated with both Hod and the chemical wedding. The Sefer Yetzirah lists Shet as one of the 12 simple letters and connects it with speech. The apostles were told not to worry about what they would say, because they would be led by Spirit. Matthew 10:20. The Hebrew letter Shet. The Hebrew letter Shet means fence and consists of the letter Vav and the letter Zion being combined underneath a wedding canopy. A fence provides privacy, as does a wedding canopy. In Jewish weddings, the wedding canopy, or chuppah, represents the covering of the Shekinah, and God's protection being extended over the couple. Zion, being 7, and Vav, being 6, equals 13, which is also a geometrical value of the word Eshad, from Deuteronomy 6:4. The geometry of Zion and Vav refers to the oneness of God, as well as to the 2 members of a couple becoming one flesh. Reducing 13, 3 plus 1, equaling the value of 4, speaks to the covenant of the steadfast love of God associated with Chesed. The chemical wedding represents the union of the soul of the alchemist with the spirit of wisdom, in response to a covenant and willingness to follow God. The union also represents physical couples, since the glory of man is his wife. 1 Corinthians 11:7 and Proverbs 12:4. When Yod is combined with Shet, it produces the word life, and represents the life given to those who choose to follow the commandments of God and select life over death. The element associated with Hod is water, which is the substance of purification. The color associated with Hod is orange, which alludes to gold, which flows out of Eden and was used to produce the Ark of the Covenant, or amber, which is associated with the presence of God. The name of God associated with Hod is Elohim Sebaoth, which means God of hosts, and is associated with the judgment of God. The image from the minor arcana used to represent the 8 is the 8 of swords, which shows a woman who is bound with swords all around her. This card represents the feeling of helplessness that is often felt during one's trials in life. The blindfold symbolizes that she cannot see or understand the significance of the trials she is experiencing, and the swords represents numerous obstacles one might encounter in life. The intelligence listed in the 32 paths of wisdom associated with the Sephir of Hod is absolute. The text reads, "The 8th path is called absolute or perfect, because it is the means of the primordial, which has no root by which it can cleave nor rest except in the hidden places of Gedula. Magnificence, which emanate from its own proper essence. Those who endeavor to be made perfect through suffering will grow in wisdom and will be prepared to receive greater glory in the future.